everybody, I'm Nora Burrows. As part of a guild project, I need to make a 16-inch quilt block in the theme of Let the Sun Shine On. So I thought I'd make a block with a big sunshine on it, kind of in the improv scrappy style, using, yellows and blue fabrics, and perhaps even some rickrack I thought would be fun for this. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I'm gonna try and make triangles that end up looking sun-like, but let's go ahead and give this a try. I guess to start, let me just show you the fabrics I'm using. I'm gonna be using yellows, kind of oranges a little bit, some golds, and then some blues. So let me show you what I have here. Some of these prints are old. This is an older one. This is a newer one. And this is kind of a vintagey looking piece, more on the orangey gold side. These are some newer pieces I've kind of just accumulated. This I think is super cool. It's kind of has this painty feel. I'm not sure if this is going to work so well for the sun, though it could be kind of cool with these looking like they're rays shooting out. This is a kind of art deco-y looking piece, I think. This is a vintage piece that I recently used in a different quilt. This one has a little bit of green in it, so that could be interesting, or it might be unusable. And then this I think is going to be the center circle. I'll do a big circle around one of these sunshines. And then finally, this is a bit on the brown or goldy side, so we'll see if that'll work. Then for the blues, I have this geometric print. This is a older laundry basket quilts print. This is kind of a newish print. This is another laundry baskets quilt print, I think. This one I just recently got. It's a fat quarter. Now this one, oh, it's also laundry basket quilts. This is also an Adidas Sitar of laundry basket quilts. And then this one I used in a baby quilt recently. So those are my blues. Let me think about how I'm gonna cut these all up. What I'm gonna do to start is just cut a strip, just kind of a random one here, just to get going. And then trim this strip to be, let's see, maybe 9 inches long, because my block needs to be 16 finished. Half of that, so I'm going to make 4 sections that are 8 each. So 8, 8, 8, 8 will make a 16-inch block. So this I'm going to trim to be 9, so it's just a little bit longer than I need. And then what I'm going to do is make this a triangle. It will obviously be my ray, so I'm going to kind of just put the middle of my cut at the middle of my piece there. And I may even be able to save this piece for another part of my ray. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we'll do the same to the other side. And now I have my triangle. So let me think. Okay, so now if I make this actually a diamond, just make a very kind of loose triangle up at the top here. I hope this works. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now this will be a corner, just like that. So now I need a blue piece coming down this way. Now I'll cut a strip of blue. And let's put the yellow down here. So this will be like this. And let's see, this will probably be like this. Actually, let's make it thinner, like that. And I'm gonna sew these 2 pieces together. I've sewn my piece together here, and what I've realized is that it is wrong, and I'll tell you why. So I have a 9.5 inch ruler here, so I just put some painter's tape up on the edge to make it 8.5 inches. So this is my 8.5 inch ruler, and if I put it on my sun ray, so I made the point to be kind of pointy along here, it doesn't reach. Because even though I made this to be 9.5, because this is on the, or I made it to be about 8.5 or 9, because this is on the diagonal, it needs to be longer. So I think what I'm gonna do, so I'll scrap this, or maybe I can use it kind of like on an end, but even so, I don't think it's big enough. So let me measure what this diagonal is here. And the diagonal is about 14 inches. So let's say I make it 15 inches just to be on the safe side. I'll cut my strip and then just repeat what I had done originally just with this longer piece here. Here's my piece sewn together, and instead of cutting this into a triangle and then sewing these together, I cut this into a triangle and then just attached it to this strip. So let's see how we're doing if we add it onto our, so I want my ray to come right from the tip and kind of straight down from the tip to the tip would be my yellow ray. So in terms of size, that's looking pretty good. And what I'm gonna do is kind of cut the top here, and I'm gonna add another blue to the other side. So this won't be this thick. I will cut it at an angle at some point. But I'm gonna add another strip over to this side of blue, a different color, maybe this one here, and start to do this with three other blocks for a total of 4. Because if you remember, this is only going to be 1/4 of my sun. What I've done is I added on my polka dot piece here, and then this was just kind of a regular big size piece. I put this over it and trimmed it, and then took this off and trimmed both blues to be on a diagonal. And then here I am. So next I'm going to take another yellow, kind of put it underneath my piece like this. And then let's just make sure that if I put this on top, that will work out, and it will. I'll make my cut. And then add this piece onto here and sew my 1/4 inch. Here's how it looks sewed on. So I will trim this one, and you can kind of see how much space there's left. I will trim this down this way. Let's do that now. And I'll add this piece now onto this side, and you can kind of start to get a sense of how much more I need to go. You know, I'll sew this on, trim this, trim it down this way, add some blue ones on the same way, and then probably even add on another set of yellow. So probably 2 more for each side is what I'll need. I finished my block here. I just had continued on exactly how I showed you until I got to the end, and then I squared it up. Then I went ahead and made 3 more. And if you rotate them around like this, you'll end up with your sun. So your thick parts are on the outside and your skinny parts are on the inside. So what I'm gonna do now is sew my 4 sections together. So I'll sew these 2 blocks right sides together, 1/4 inch along this line, and iron. Do the same for this one, and iron. And then I'll sew this unit to this unit, and I'll have 1 block. Then we'll talk about perhaps using some of this rickrack, and we'll have to make our circle for the middle. I've sewn my unit, so I have 2 pieces now, 1, 2. Now, as I mentioned, the next step would be to sew this piece to this piece. But what I was thinking is, would it not be kind of cool if we flipped these around? Now, it doesn't look like a traditional sun anymore, and we would not put a circle in the middle, but I think that looks pretty cool. And it's still, you know, the theme of this block is let the sun shine on, and I think it still has this sun ray kind of feel. You know, these pieces here in particular look pretty pretty awesome. So just because we're kind of doing something different and experimenting, I'm gonna sew it up like this, and then we'll be done with the block. I'm actually not gonna use the rickrack. I think the rickrack does not aid in the block in this fashion. But let's sew this and see what we got. And here's the finished block. I actually think it looks pretty cool. What I think would be really neat is to do many of these blocks and put them next to each other, and you could even rotate the blocks every other one. So for example, this way that I have it oriented up and down, as I consider it, is a diamond. But if you turn it, it looks a little bit differently. So you could turn, every other one, and that could be really cool. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.